Hey guys, it's Bobby Legs and welcome to another episode of Bobby Legs Loves Watches, and today I will be reviewing the Steinhart Marine Regulator. Steinhart is a German company that makes Swiss-made watches, and they're mostly known for their homages to the iconic watches of the present and the past, and the Marine Regulator is no different. But before we get into that, let's talk briefly about the history of the regulator. Back in the day, watchmakers used to have a master clock, and they would have the hour hand on one axis and the minute hand on the other axis. And they would time and regulate their other clocks and wristwatches to that. Reason being is that you never had the two hands from the hour and minute hand cover each other up. So you could in minute detail get the exact time. And that's why watchmakers used the master clock. Now, in 1987, Chronoswiss had the bright idea of making a regulator wristwatch, and this Steinhart Marine Regulator takes a lot of cues from that watch. But before we continue with the review, please remember to like and subscribe and hit that bell icon to get notifications when I upload new videos. I love making these videos, and I hope you like them too. So let's get on with the review. So let's talk specs. The specs of this handsome regulator watch: we have a 42 millimeter case diameter, 13 millimeter case thickness, 49 millimeter lug to lug, 20 millimeter lug width. The crystal, sapphire crystal, is slightly domed, and you have a double anti-reflecting coats on the interior side of the crystal. The case is a mix of brushed on top here, top of the lugs, satin brushed, and polished around the bezel and the sides. On this side you have the crown, which is signed crown with the Steinhart logo. The crown is, I guess, you call this maybe somewhat of an onion shape or half an onion shape. I'm not sure. I'm sure somebody will put in the comments below exactly what they call this, but it's a nice big crown, and it has a grip, and you wind it like so because it is a manual movement. Pop it out, and you can see the minute hand and the hour hand move. And then you just push it in. 50-meter water resistance. The dial, as you can tell, is a very stark white dial. And again, you have the hour hand at the 12 o'clock, the minute hand at the 6 o'clock, and the seconds hand at the 6 o'clock, and the minute hand in the center. Like typical marine dials that I've seen, you have the minute track, a railroad track around the dial. The hour hand kind of looks like a spade, and then you have the minute and the seconds hand. At the 9 o'clock side of the dial, you have in script mechanical regulator, and on the 3 o'clock side you have the Steinhart logo and company name. This watch is powered by the ETA 6498-2 or .2, and according to the ETA website, this has a frequency of 21,600 vibrations per hour, 3 hertz movement, 17 joules, and 60-hour power reserve. Although I've seen online several different claims of power reserve. I saw 52, I saw high 40s. It depends, I guess, on how much was done to the movement. But for the price, and this watch MSRP is at $700, it is a fairly decent decorated movement, in my opinion. You can see the Steinhart S in one of these winding wheels here. Geneva waves also on the back plates here as well. So nicely done, I think, for what you're paying for. Now, this watch did come with a different strap. I have a Fluco strap here. Let me zoom out a little bit. It did come with this brown calf leather strap with a deploying clasp, and it's a pretty decent deploying clasp. You do have the Steinhart written on top, and brushed on top and polished on the sides. The reason why I took it off is that it was actually too big for me. I have 6 3/4 inch wrists, and it was actually a little bit too big. So I didn't want to poke another hole in the strap. And that's why I took it off and I put it on this Fuko strap, which I think pairs very, very nicely with this watch. I will put it on my wrist to give you guys a wrist shot. I also will play some extra footage of the watch with the original strap doing a wrist roll. So here's the watch on my 6 3/4 inch wrist. Now, because there's a lack of, like a big bezel or diver bezel, this dial is gonna really look big on wrist, and that's okay. The lug to lug is 49 millimeters, and the case back, the exhibition case back, is relatively flat, so it fits really well. Sits really well on my wrist, so no complaints there. But anyway, it does look big, and great, it should. I mean, this is a very unique kind of wristwatch. I want people to take notice of this. You don't see too many regulators out there. I've never seen one in person until I unpacked this watch. And so let me touch a little bit into that. Over the last couple of years, my tastes have evolved, and there's different things that I find interesting. I'm really a big fan of the 6498 and 6497 movements. My Panerai has a 6497. I like the fact that I can manually wind these watches and have feels like a little personal relationship with it. So my preference now is to manual watches, and my preference now is to something that's maybe a little bit different and unique, and hence the regulator. However, I knew that I wasn't going to wear a regulator on a daily basis, so I didn't want to spend thousands and thousands of dollars for a quote-unquote luxury regulator. I was more than willing to pay what Steinhart was charging for this regulator, because I feel like it was a quality product. I know Steinhart, they build homages, and it's a very divisive topic, and haters are going to hate and fans are going to be fanatical. But the truth is, for what they charge, they really put something decent out there. The finishings are pretty good. The movement, like I said, I really like the movement. I have no problem with it. So I was willing to spend the $700 MSRP for this watch. Anyway, what do you guys think? What do you guys think about Steinhart? What do you guys think about regulators? I would love to hear what you have to say, and I will see you guys soon in the next episode.